Nerdillas, nerdizzles, and all you guys out there. I have coffee in the D'Addario cup. D'Addario. I actually think this thing is loaded with D'Addarios. Yes, it is. I have coffee nut flavored M&Ms, which is, I mean, that's freaking heaven. So I'm gonna chew those for you. While I make other sounds, I make these sounds. I have a Maybach Thomann, which is a really nice guitar. And it's going into a pedal that I didn't know I would get. Digitech, I think Digitech England, sent this to me by mistake. They were supposed to send the drop and the ricochet, which I hope is still coming. Cause they're cool! Then, stuff like this. But the Dirty Robot was something that I didn't expect, and I was like, what is this gonna do? And then there's no manual in the box. And then we used it in a session. And it's one of those pedals where you think, what the fuck am I gonna do with this? But you can dial in what you want so perfectly that it's fully usable. Some of these synthy kind of pedals are not usable because you can't really get the sound you got in your head. Well, okay, I gotta say, I studied sound design. I have a sound in my head and I know what I want, so I want to be able to dial that in. The Dirty Robot lets you do that, so let's look at it. Maybach Thomann, nice! That's going into the Dirty Robot. Make sure it's at the front of your chain to be one of your first tone sculpting pedals. And that's going into the Looking Glass, because we might want to dirt it up. That's a DoD pedal. Demo is on my channel. I was looking for the word demo. Demo's here on my channel. DoD Looking Glass, nice dirt pedal. And it's going into Big Sky from Strymon for a little bit of a dimension. And that's going into your Joyo Beale Street 12-watt tweed style amp loader with 6v6 in the power amp, which is going into a 2-notes Torpedo Studio for speaker simulation goodness. This is what my clean sound sounds like. I'm going to turn on a little bit of spring reverb for some depth. Yes, this guitar sounds good. And it is blue and vintage with some dings and dongs. So, more of these. I'm sorry. It's just too funny, I think. So, it's the Dirty Robot's doing a synthy kind of thing, but it can be polyphonic, meaning it doesn't just take single notes, it can take multiple notes. Polyphonic. Monophonic, single notes, polyphonic, several notes. And I can't say enough great things about this, which I'm going to do in my 2 cents. I'm going to try to hold back. Digitech managed to put actually 6, 7, 8 controls right here on the front panel of a rather small pedal. We have V1 and V2. V1 is your classic synthy kind of sound. V2 is a formant sound. Formant is what you shape with your mouth. So these are formants. So you can do something like this. We have a mix and a modulation. So mix is on the inside here and modulation's on the outside. We have our drift knob, which you can just dial all the way. It's just endless to morph between what kind of synthy sound you get. This is so great. Start and stop. Starts on the inside, stops on the outside, meaning what frequency does it start at, where does it stop. When you reverse them, instead of a downward sweep, you get an upward sweep. So you just cross these 2 knobs. I will show you. And here we have sensitivity and time, also very important. So I show you how controllable it is. I want a downward sweep, okay? So I'm gonna make my start higher than my stop, right there. I'm gonna dial in 50% mix, no modulation. I'm gonna be on the sub octave, so that means we have a lower sound. I'm gonna make a medium time and medium sensitivity. So my A would sound like this. And as predicted, that's exactly what happens. Downward sweep, medium time. You could do this with chords. And once you trigger the sensitivity threshold, then that sweep kicks in. So the filter stays low, and once you hit that threshold, it goes down. So more sensitivity will mean even all the quiet notes will trigger it, which is not maybe what you want. So you can actually dial this in really precisely. Precisely. Pretty fucking great. So let's try to do a shorter time. So we get a, you know? I'm gonna get more mix in here so we hear more of the synthy sound. Usually I really don't like these types of pedals. That's fucking great. I apologize to Digitech, who has not worked with me before, for saying fuck so much, but if you make such a fucking great pedal, how am I not gonna say fuck? I'm gonna say, this is a pedal that is rather nice. No! Fucking awesome! Deal with it, Digitech. Major! So really your dynamic playing can control when the filter opens and when it doesn't. So now I'm gonna go for a long sweep. You know what I'm talking about? I could play that once, I don't know how to play it. I don't know, but you know what I hope you know what I'm talking about. If not, why don't you? So I'm gonna make this start higher and go way lower by increasing the start frequency and going way, way low on the stop frequency. Now we're gonna do that with some drive, just because we can. Don't see this as your number one guitar sound and that's what you're doing. See this as your guitar player 2, or maybe 3, or maybe in a production you want this as a sound. How great, come on. Take the normal guitar, layer this E underneath. Hey, let's go sweep it up. All you have to do is take your start down, your stop up, and then you get the same thing sweeping up, which, yes, we did that in a production we just did. And I'm going to play you some stuff of this, because in context it's just killer. Yes, folks, when you hold in the button, it'll turn, in the Footswitch, it'll turn green and add modulation to your signal, which is a cool gimmick for live performance. So, obviously, if I take mix all the way down, so you can dial in as much of your original signal as you want. Let's play with the modulation a bit. We're gonna go faster here. Gonna go down sweep. I really love how much you can predict what comes out of this thing, if you know a little bit about sound design. So I'm gonna dial in the modulation, which means your sound will be wobbly. Let's turn the drive off for now. No modulation. So far, all we've had, we explored the sub setting on the drift knob. So let's drift it a bit. That's a square wave, so we're getting, we don't have the fat sound anymore, but more of a square sound. Kind of fuzzish. So what if we distort that? Do we get a fuzzy sound? Let's try this. We're gonna move on to octave. Now we should technically have an octave above. No, it sounds lower. I failed to see the big difference between sub and octave. Now there's a little bit of a difference. Now imagine delays. Put a flanger behind that, which is what we did in the production we did. Insanely cool. I'm using a Shimmer Reverb now from the Big Sky. Super cool, predictable sounds. Now we're gonna switch over to voicing 2, which is actually a formant thing. I said it's kind of like what you can do with your mouth. Don't be dirty. What you can do with your mouth, not what your girlfriend can do with her mouth. So apparently the start-stop does different stuff now. The start will do what kind of vowel it does, I-O, whereas the lower thing will switch between going down or going up. Going down. Fun. So how do you use this musically? Well, let me throw in the slideshow and I'm going to show you verse 1, verse 2 and bridge of the song that we recorded on the weekend. There's no vocals yet. It's Bitter Life from Campaign Like Clockwork, and we thought, hey, why not use the Dirty Robot to do some cool stuff? There is also a Walrus Audio Vanguard flanger on there, and And what else? We had some kind of dirt box. I think just the Mesner from Walrus Audio. But all the sweepy goodness definitely comes from the Dirty Robot. So I'm going to throw that in there. And then my 2 cents. So, what do I think? Well, it's pretty simple. This box is absolutely impressive. First of all, you put it in your hand and it's like, whoa, there's weight to it. This is... I don't know why it's so heavy. I don't know if there's like a, I don't know, i7 processor and power supply in there. I've got no, it takes 9 volt. I don't know why it's heavy, but it feels sturdy. It's got these big hex screws on top and the bottom, so this is being held together by hex goodness. It's solid as a rock. Full stereo operation, which I didn't show you. Stereo in, stereo out, or mono in, stereo out. It is just solid as a tank. I love how Digitech managed, first of all, the graphics killer. I love how Digitech managed to put 7 controls on the top and still keep the pedals very small and still manageable. It is very predictable, and I love that. I love that I know exactly what to grab, what to manipulate, and even though it's on very small space, I can do it. And it's not bugging me at all that these controls are stacked. It's not plastic, it's metal. These knobs are nice, grabby, very... It's good. It feels good. Very nice, grabby metal. Comes in a nice box. There's a big-ass piece of rubber at the bottom. You can tear that off, and the perfectly cut Velcro comes in the box. The only thing that doesn't come in the box is the manual, which is a bummer, because a pedal this complex or this unique needs a manual in the box. Immanuel Kant. Get it? Philosopher? Immanuel Kant? Made the joke a million times, still not too funny. So, it clocks in here in Germany, I think, at about $150, plus minus 100, whatever. It's under 200. It's a very unique pedal, but it's not so fucked up that you can't use this for intros, bridges, as a second, third guitar. Mix it in just a tiny bit for that sweep behind your long chords. Imagine phasers, flangers behind it, in front of it. Imagine delays. There is a lot that the Dirty Robot can do for you if you want a little bit something special, but again, not so special that it's not usable. Quality-wise, Digitech has floored me. This pedal is rather small. That's what she's... No, the pedal, no. But just everything about it is very impressive, except for no manual in the box. So Digitech, get that happening. Other than that, full winner, goes in my collection, and I'll pull that out whenever I need that little bit something special. Or dirty. The Dirty Robot, Digitech. Full on fucking recommendation from me. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not gone. It's me again. I completely forgot something while editing this video. The rubber thing. Everything about this thing, wow. That's just cool. So, a very stable rubber thingy goes on top of these controls. And first of all, you could step on it. But also, everything that you set up painfully to match the song tempo and everything you want from this thing in your one song, probably where you use it live, is protected, and you cannot change the settings no matter how much you want to. And it's not... Hello, X. And it's not annoying to take off. You just go grab it right here. It's a little bit indented. Take it off at home, do whatever. And your setting is fixed. You want that? Bam. Done. So this is not a permanent thing. It's just... Way to go, frickin' Digitech. Comes with it for free. Now, bye-bye.